Hey guys, so we got this 99 SIR Honda Civic here, and it's got a check engine light on, so we're going to check it out and see what it is. So I got my diagnostic code reader hooked up to the OBD2 sensor right now, and we're going to go ahead and scan the vehicle and see what's going on. So you have to have the ignition on, and then go ahead and read the codes. So the vehicle's tripping code P0131. So O2 sensor circuit low, voltage bank 1 sensor 1. We only have one bank because this is a 4-banger, but there are two sensors, so we're going to check out the front one. So whenever getting underneath the vehicle, always take the necessary safety precautions. We've gone ahead and checked the rear wheels, and the front wheels are on ramps. So we're underneath the vehicle right now, and there are two sensors. So here's our sensor 1, right before the catalytic converter. And here's our other one over here. It's inside the cat, so we're going to check this one out over here. We've also gone ahead and hit it with penetrating lube ahead of time before we even started the job to make this a little bit easier to take that piece out. Alright, so since I'm holding the camera, I need my buddy's help to actually hold the clip while I pull on this. There's one clip on the other side, so when you clip it, it'll just basically come loose on you. So he's just going to hold the clip in. You'll hear it click. I don't know if you'll hear it on the camera. And I'm just going to pull this right off. So go ahead and hold it. And then it just comes right off, and then you're free. And then you can go ahead and use your O2 sensor removal tool. So I'm just going to show you guys how this tool works. So it's basically like a wrench, but it's got a slit in it. The reason why you need the slit is because you have to deal with this wire. Some applications you might be able to use an open-ended wrench, but use the proper tool. So I do want to mention that besides the penetrating lube, I did have to break this loose. I tapped a couple times with the hammer. Besides the wrench, I also used a cheater bar to get more leverage on this thing. I had to put some force into this to actually crack it loose. So we can go ahead and crack the rest of it. So it's kind of weird. You have to, because the way this tool works, you have to actually put your wrench on clockwise, and then this will turn counterclockwise. So now that's all loosened up. You get this off, and you take this thing out by hand. So this is probably the original O2 that was in there. It's a Denso piece. Car's got about 144,000 K on it. It does a lot of city, so we got quite a bit of carbon on here upon inspection. But the biggest thing that we actually noticed was when it said low voltage is right over here. It's frayed, so it's either we're gonna have an issue inside of here, or there's a good chance that the wire might be broken because of this wear and tear over here that happened to it. So now we're ready to go ahead and put our new O2 sensors in. We've gone ahead and gotten high quality ones from Denso. I prefer to use high quality parts and spend the extra money here, that way I know they're going to last longer. I'm going to get good consistent performance. Another nice thing that the Denso package comes with is it comes with anti-seize grease in there, so you want to go ahead and put that on the threads liberally, and that way if you ever have to change these out again, it's going to be a lot easier taking these out because they're not going to seize up on you. So before you put your O2 sensor in, go ahead and compare and make sure it's the exact same part. On this application, they actually look identical, but one has a longer wire than the other. And as you can see here, the old one, yeah, we should definitely change it. There's a lot of carbon on this one. You know, it's probably not going to give us the most accurate reading, so you should be changing these out every 100,000 K anyways, or whatever your maintenance guide recommends. But you can see the new one's nice and clean, ready to go in. The design's a little bit different, so they probably refined it over time. And so yeah, we're going to go ahead and put these in now. So now we're just going to apply it. So just cut a little slit in there because it is tapered, so it comes out so you don't get all over the place. And then just apply it in the threads. Just basically like how you do spark plugs. Now we don't hope to take these out for a very long time, but over time this can get seized in there, so this will make life a lot easier in the future. So putting in the O2 sensor is pretty simple, just like a spark plug. Thread in by hand. The only cumbersome thing about putting an O2 sensor in is this wire, so if you can elongate and get as straight as you can, It's going to be a lot easier as you twist it. As you can see, it just, as you twist it, just gets in the way and just goes all over the place. Nothing to do about it. Well, I guess if I wasn't holding the camera, I could hold it with my other hand, but not a big deal. And that's as far as we can go, finger tight. We made sure that this is the one for this front one. We have enough length to make sure we can plug in everything, so we're all good. So we're going to go ahead and get the O2 sensor tool on there again and tighten this up. So I've already gone ahead and put the tool on here. We're going to snug it up right now. Now note that I've left this unplugged, so as I'm tightening, this isn't going to keep turning it all bunched up. I'll plug this in last. So just go ahead and snug it on. Don't have to put it on too tight because you have to keep in mind that this likes to expand and contract, so just get it on there pretty tight. And then when you're all done, you can go ahead and plug it all back in. So before I finish up on sensor 1, you have to keep in mind this right here is an axle shaft, or CV, whatever you want to call it, and it spins. So we don't want our wire to drop down and keep hitting it for whatever reason. So we're looking around to make sure that there's no other heat sources besides the exhaust, but it's far away from that. There's no other moving parts, you know, just double check depending on the vehicle application. So I'm just going to go ahead and zap strap this out of the way. And that way I can be confident it's never going to go ahead and hit this right here. And make sure you go ahead and cut it off just to make it look nicer. So for sensor 2, which goes in our catalytic converter, same deal. Inspect the hole, clean it out. Now as you can see what I have done here, the shifter linkage gets in the way, so this is kind of cumbersome. But here I have the wire as far as I can. That way it's a lot easier. That when you're threading this in by hand, it's going to want to agree with you, because it can keep on turning easier. If you have it down here, it's just the wire's going to bind up, it's going to fight you on it. So this just makes life a lot easier doing it this way. So it's as far as we're getting by hand. Go ahead and put your tool back on and tighten her up. So you have our tool on. We're just going to go ahead and snug it on. Remember, plug this in last. It's pretty easy to tighten this up with that anti-seize grease on there too, because it acts like lubricant. So snug her on, and then you're pretty much done. So the last part now is we just plug it in. I've already gone ahead and plugged this in. I'm going to show you how to do that again. And the nice thing with this Denso piece is it comes with a grommet right here because it's going into metal. So you're just going to put your sensor up in here and then push the grommet into the metal, and that'll protect the wires from chafing. So as you can see, once you get your connector back in there, this grommet just fits in there nice and snug, and you don't have to worry about chafing. Alright, so we button everything up. Now these codes, I would never expect these codes to go away right away. Sometimes you have to cycle the motor so many times before that check engine light goes away. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to clear the code and drive the car and see if it ever comes back. So go back on our diagnostic codes. Read the code again just in case. We're just going to validate. Okay, same one, so we're going to head back. Erase the code. And now we can go ahead and test the vehicle and make sure everything checks out. Okay, so we've gone ahead and cleared the codes. We're going to test the motor right now. See what we get. So everything checks out so far, so the real true test is we're going to go ahead and test drive this thing and see if that light comes back on. So we're here on our test drive, just checking everything out. The car is driving significantly better now, way more drivability, way more power as expected. Light hasn't come back on, so we're looking pretty good. So I'm going to say mission accomplished on this one.